In 2002, the United States military ran the most expensive war game in history. It cost about $250 million and involved 13,500 personnel across live exercises and computer simulations. The goal? To prove that America's new high-tech military doctrine could dominate any enemy. But something unexpected happened. A retired Marine general playing the enemy used motorcycle messengers, fishing boats, and surprise missile strikes, and in the first few days he sank the entire U.S. fleet. Aircraft carrier, cruisers, amphibious ships, gone. In the simulation, 16 warships were destroyed. Instead of accepting the results, the military stopped the game, brought the ships back to life, changed the rules, and declared victory. Today we're going to talk about Millennium Challenge 2002, what it revealed about asymmetric warfare, and why the United States still struggles with the same problems in Iraq, Afghanistan, and now potentially with Iran. What Millennium Challenge 2002 was. Millennium Challenge 2002 was designed to test the Pentagon's new doctrine of network-centric warfare. The theory was simple. If the U.S. military connected its forces through satellites, sensors, data networks, and precision weapons, it could overwhelm any opponent with rapid, decisive operations. The war game simulated a conflict in the Persian Gulf against a fictional Middle Eastern state that looked suspiciously like Iran or Iraq. There were two sides, blue team, the United States forces, and red team, the enemy. The red team commander, retired Marine Corps Lieutenant General Paul Van Ripper, and he had one job, break the system. Paul K. Van Ripper, born July 5, 1938, is a retired United States Marine Lieutenant General. Van Ripper was a combat veteran who was twice awarded the Silver Star for his heroic actions during the Vietnam War. At the time of his retirement, Van Ripper was serving as the commanding general, 2nd Marine Division, and Marine Corps Combat Development Command, Quantico, Virginia. Since his retirement, Van Ripper has served on several advisory boards and panels. General Van Ripper's personal decorations, including the Silver Star Medal with Gold Star, the Legion of Merit, the Bronze Star Medal with Combat V, Purple Heart Meritorious Service Medal, Joint Service Commendation Medal, the Army Commendation Medal, the Navy Achievement Medal, and the Combat Action Ribbon with Gold Star. This is someone who knows what he's doing. How the U.S. fleet got destroyed. Van Ripper quickly realized something. The U.S. strategy assumed the enemy would behave predictably and rely on modern communications, so he didn't. Instead, he used asymmetric tactics. He sent orders by motorcycle courier to avoid electronic surveillance. He used commercial fishing boats to scout the U.S. fleet. He launched aircraft using light signals instead of radios. Then he did something the U.S. command never expected. He launched a massive, preemptive cruise missile strike, followed by swarms of small attack boats. Within minutes, the simulation showed 16 U.S. warships destroyed, including a carrier battle group. In real life, that would have meant roughly 20,000 casualties. The entire American naval force in the region was essentially wiped out, and the war had barely started. What happened next? This is where the story gets awkward. Instead of accepting the results, the exercise controllers stopped the war game. They refloated the destroyed ships, reset the battlefield, and imposed new restrictions on the red team. Van Ripper was now told he could not shoot down certain aircraft, use some surprise tactics, attack at certain times, or deploy weapons in hidden positions. In other words, the enemy was no longer allowed to act like an enemy. The game was restarted, and unsurprisingly, the U.S. won. Van Ripper later said that the exercise had been turned into a scripted event designed to prove the Pentagon's theory. Apparently, the U.S. still thinks like the British did in the colonial wars, just line up and shoot at each other. The real lesson, what Van Ripper demonstrated, was something very simple. Technology does not guarantee victory. An enemy who fights asymmetrically can negate a technological advantage. Small boats can threaten billion-dollar ships, Low-tech communication can defeat high-tech surveillance, and surprise can overwhelm complex systems. A recently declassified after-action report warned that the exercise exposed serious vulnerabilities to low-tech warfare. But those warnings, of course, went largely ignored and disappeared into bureaucracy. Iraq and Afghanistan. Just 1 year later, the United States invaded Iraq. The initial invasion was exactly what Millennium Challenge predicted. High-tech, fast, overwhelming. The Iraqi army collapsed in weeks. But then something happened. The war became asymmetric. Insurgents used IEDs, small units, civilian cover, decentralized communication, and suddenly the most technologically advanced military in the world was fighting pickup trucks and roadside bombs. The same dynamic played out in Afghanistan for 20 years. Why this matters now. Millennium Challenge simulated a war against a Gulf state adversary. Does that sound familiar? Iran's strategy today looks remarkably similar to what Van Ripper used in the simulation. Swarm boats, missiles, decentralized command, low-tech communication, and the ability to threaten shipping in narrow waterways like the Strait of Hormuz. The exact kind of asymmetric battlefield the war game was designed to test. The difference now? These tactics are not theoretical. They are being used all over the world. Drone boats in the Black Sea, missile attacks on shipping in the Red Sea, and increasingly sophisticated asymmetric warfare strategies from smaller powers. Millennium Challenge 2002 should have been a warning, a chance to adapt, a reminder that wars are not fought according to PowerPoint slides. Instead, the uncomfortable result was dismissed and rewritten. History has a funny way of repeating itself when those lessons are ignored. The question now is whether the United States has actually learned how modern wars are fought, or whether we're still preparing to win the last war we imagined. Thanks for watching Behind the Line podcast. Please like, share, and follow us for more stories about the left coast and the world at large. You can find us on all your favorite social media: YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, Brighteon, Spotify, Patreon, Facebook, Instagram, X, Truth Social, Substack, and TikTok. Visit our website, leftcoastnews.net or behindthelinepodcast.com for more information. And please drop a comment on what you think about this simulation and how our government reacted to it, and how that played out in Iraq and Afghanistan, and what you think is going to happen with this war in Iran. Is this going to turn into another Afghanistan? Because it sure feels like it is, and it sure has that appearance like it's going to. This thing has already cost over $11 billion since it started a couple weeks ago. I mean, how long can this go on?
It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.